The selection that I chose was My Father on the Verge of Disgrace. I thought this was kind of appropriate since a lot of us are in this stage of life, and also the economic times, and this is something that John Updike brings out in the book. It filtered even into my childhood dreams, the fear that he would somehow fall from his precarious ledge of respectability, a ledge where we all stood with him. We all, his dependents, my mother, her parents, myself. The house we lived in was much too big for us. My grandfather had bought it in 1922 when he felt prosperous enough to retire. Within the decade, the stock market crash took all his savings. He sat in one corner of the big house, the little sunroom that looked toward the front yard.
No explanation is really needed. Even in the old days, it was exciting for a small rural town to have someone as important as an ex-president of the United States come for a visit. Usually the government keeps track of such things, and these days even an ex-president's travel with Secret Service protection, but in this case, Washington may have been unaware of what happened in Woodstock, Connecticut in 1883. By the 1880s, Victorian culture had blossomed on the hill in Woodstock. One descendant from the first white settlers in 1686, Henry C. Bowen, had gone to New York City, married what?
And I decided on this particular story because I just love the visual imagery you get from it. It's a suspense, but I just enjoy the imagery. It's by John Cheever, and the title of the story is The 548. When Blake stepped out of the elevator, he saw her. A few people, mostly men waiting for girls, stood in the lobby watching the elevator doors. She was among them. As he saw her, her face took on a look of such loathing and purpose that he realized she had been waiting for him. He did not approach her. She had no legitimate business with him. They had nothing to say. He turned and walked towards the glass doors at the end of the lobby, feeling that faint guilt and bewilderment we experience when we bypass some old friend or classmate who seems threadbare, or sick, or miserable in some other way. It was 5:18 by the clock in the Western
What did it matter that she had kept him out of the who's of the horse world? In male descent, Man o' War's blood was traceable in unbroken line to the great Godolphin Arabian himself. And then Mr. Riddle began to think about the Godolphin Arabian. He had not raced at Newmarket either, and he had no pedigree at all. It had been lost. He had to write a new one with his own blood, the blood that flowed in the veins of his sons and daughters. Man o' War could do that too. The great son.
Oft denk ich, die duftenden Resinen, die letzten roten Lasten trag herbei und lass uns wieder von der Liebe reden, wie einst im Mai. Gib mir die Hand, lass ich sie heimlich drücken. Und wenn man sieht, mir ist es einerlei, gib mir nur eine.
Telling me what to do next. I tend to forget.